Today we embark on a journey through the Grand Line. We've been to Whiskey Peak, we've been to Little Garden, Drum Island, but now it's time to put our big boy pants on because we're headed to Alabasta. I did a video about the first 100 episodes of One Piece. Now it's time for the next 100 episodes, 101 through 200. Get ready because we have a ton of action in these episodes and I'm gonna break it all down. So let's get started with 101 through 110. We're just getting into the action of the Alabasta Arc. We're at Rain Dinners and we get to see all of the Baroque's Works members. If you don't remember, Rain Dinners is Crocodile's casino/restaurant type thing. The Straw Hats get themselves into some trouble. Who would have thought? We see them escape a pretty dire situation and Zoro saves Smoker, which I thought was pretty interesting. Smoker had chased them all the way to Alabasta from Logtown and was as good as dead, but Zoro decided to save his life. This chapter of episodes ends with Luffy fighting Crocodile, but Luffy was getting his butt whooped. I've said this before, but Luffy gets his butt whooped in every single fight and then magically recovers and starts to win. But I wanted to know what happened to Luffy, so I continued into 111 through 120. Right off the bat, episode 111 stresses us out because Luffy is sinking into the sand. However, for whatever reason, Nico Robin saves him. This really confused me at the time because she seems like a very bad lady. But I don't know, I guess she has a heart after all. I love the rest of the episodes in this chapter because we get to see all the Straw Hats shine in battle. Usopp and Chopper have to combine powers, Zoro learns to cut through steel, and Sanji needs to be the better kicker and beat the zesty Mr. 2. But my favorite fight was Nami's. Until this fight, Nami had been useless in every single battle. It was about time for her to get a power up to be able to help the Straw Hats in battle. The Climax is a perfect weapon for her, even though it failed several times. But these fights were so good and this quickly became my favorite part of the series yet. Continuing the fight, it takes us to 121 through 130. In these episodes, so many things happen all at once. Crocodile's entire plan gets revealed and Koza learns how he was being manipulated. This was great and the story had grown so much since the first 100 episodes. I think that part of the reason why I like Alabasta so much is because it's the first time there's a really deep story behind a fight. And to be fair, it had been hyped up since the Straw Hats met Vivi in Whiskey Peak. A lot of the individual Straw Hat fights start to end and we see all of them become victorious. Meanwhile, Luffy comes back with Pell and fights Crocodile for a second time. And I really enjoyed Luffy's new form, Water Luffy. That was a pretty random and funny moment. But then he loses a second time and gets completely dehydrated. We also learn about the huge bomb in the clock tower. I swear, Crocodile had every minute detail planned out. Then we jump into the catacombs and Luffy fights Crocodile a third time. How many times is he gonna fight this guy? While he's fighting Crocodile, everyone up top is scrambling because of the huge bomb in the clock tower. There's just so much going on. Luffy finally defeats Crocodile and Pell flies the bomb into the air. Now here's where I'm confused. Pell 100% should have died flying this bomb into the air. This bomb was supposed to take out the entire city, and he survived being 2 feet away from it? Absolutely no way. But finally, we get to the end of these 10 episodes and see the Straw Hats get to party, and there were so many funny moments in this party.
Hey! Luffy, keep your filthy hands off my blade! Easy.
There's plenty to go around.
Who are you, Wolfo?
Hey, where's the women's bath?
You're nuts! And why would I tell you that? That's where the princess is!
I know.
Hey, thanks, old guy. You're the best.
What are you all doing over there?
Keeping. It'll cost 100,000 berries each. Happiness? Punch!
Nami!
But now it's time to move into 131 through 140. The Straw Hats leave Alabasta and say goodbye to Vivi, and this was a pretty sad moment, I'm not gonna lie. You almost caught me tearing up right here. But they find someone new on their ship. Nico Robin. Not only that, Luffy invites this killer to join the crew, the chick that was just trying to kill them. I was mind-boggled. This is the first time One Piece had actually blown my mind. I never once expected Robin to be joining the crew, but yet, here we were, with her on the ship. Okay, well, the rest of the episodes are filler. It seems to be what happens after every big arc. We get some filler episodes. In this filler, the Straw Hats are on a new island every episode. First, a random salesman pops out of the sea. Then Sanji helps a kid become a better cook. After that, the crew goes to a firework festival. And then finally, we end up on an island with an old man and a bunch of goats. No, not him. Actual goats. Actually, never mind. There's one more island after that, and they end up in Luluka. But this one was pretty cool. I felt like we were back in the first 10 episodes again with how quickly we were jumping from place to place. But these filler episodes were pretty funny, so I recommend you watch them if you ever get to this point again, because you get to see so many different sides of the crew that you hardly see in the main story episodes. Sometimes I wondered what the Going Merry was like when the Straw Hats aren't in a huge fight, and these episodes show you that. So we go into 141 through 150. The first few episodes in the filler arc on Luluku Luluku, and Luluku is a very cool island, especially with the rainbow mist concept. I thoroughly enjoyed this little mini arc and definitely will watch it again. But speaking of islands, right after Luluku, a ship falls from the sky with a map of Sky Island. Oh man, was I excited for this arc. The concept of Sky Island was so cool to me and I couldn't wait for this arc. So the Straw Hats soon arrive at Jaya, where they meet the Bellamy Pirates as well as Blackbeard. At the time we didn't learn Blackbeard's name, but I learned it later on. One of the coldest moments happened in this chapter of episodes. We saw Zoro and Luffy just tank a beating from Bellamy and play it off like nothing happened. I mean, that was top 5 coldest moments so far. In the last few episodes, we meet Cricket, who tells the Straw Hats more about the Sky Island. This series had gotten so good at this point, I had completely fallen in love with it, and there was no chance I was going to stop watching. After learning more about Sky Island, we go into 151 through 160. However, so many of you guys watching this video aren't even subscribed, so help me out and hit that subscribe button. We're going to Sky Island. I was so hyped for this new arc, I literally could not stop watching it because it had become an addiction. So in these episodes, we go through the entire process of traveling to Sky Island, which was very cool. We also got sucked straight into the plot of Sky Island, and I loved that. No crazy build up, this time we were right into the action. The White Berets go straight after the Straw Hats, and then several Straw Hats get carried to the upper yard by a lobster. What is even going on? So at the end of these episodes, we see Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji start to go and try and save the other crew members that got shipped off by a lobster. They come across the entrances known as the Ordeals. We also see a guest appearance for the first time in the anime. One Piece collabed with Tarzan. Oh wait, that was just Zoro. Okay, well that takes us into 161 through 170. In my opinion, one of the coolest things about this arc is the fact that none of these new characters have any idea about the world below. So we get to see a new part of the One Piece world that is just disconnected from the rest. I think that was really cool. In these 10 episodes, a lot of fighting starts to happen. Chopper takes on a priest at the Going Merry, Luffy is fighting a priest that can predict his moves, and the Shandorians start attacking the upper yard. Now I'm not sure how the priest knew Luffy's next moves, but I assume it will be something important in the future. That seems like a pretty important factor. Halfway through the episodes, the crew all reunites, and then 2 episodes later they all separate again while running from a huge snake. I mean, I can't even keep up with everything that's going on at this point, but what do you know? Something super cool happened in this chapter though. Usopp saw a mystery person fixing the Going Merry, so I'm excited to learn who that person is. But after all of that, we are led into the next chapter, 171 through 180. I've noticed while making this video that there is so much more happening in the story than the first 100 episodes. A lot of the details happening seem like they will be very valuable in the future, so I think there's a lot of foreshadowing happening here. In this chapter, we meet all the other priests and the Straw Hats engage in combat. We also get to see the full potential of Inaru's power for the first time. His devil fruit seems so overpowered. It's made of lightning. Well, what? Being made of lightning looks like a cheat code. Also, not to mention the past 10 episodes or so, Luffy has been stuck inside a giant snake's stomach and had no idea where he was until more Straw Hats got swallowed. Skypiea is crazy. I don't get how people don't like this. In the last episode of this chapter, Enel reveals his plan to destroy Skypiea with his devil fruit powers and leave on a huge ship to the moon of all places. All of these episodes focused on the other Straw Hats and their fights, but also were building up Luffy's fight with Enel. And in 181 through 190, he starts the fight right away. I love the fight scenes in One Piece, and this chapter brings us some amazing scenes. Zoro gets bodied by Enel before even landing a punch. But no worries, Luffy comes in to the rescue. Well, maybe. Before Luffy and Enel fought, I had already figured out in my head that Enel actually couldn't hurt Luffy. I compared their devil fruits and I was like, how is Enel's lightning gonna work against Luffy? And then we see one of the funniest but most random faces I've ever seen from Enel. But Luffy's success against him didn't last long, and he got sent off the ship in a ball of gold. However, Sanji and Usopp were finally back in the fight. I didn't even mention they had been knocked out since the first priest fight, so it was about time. 3 of these episodes take us back to Calgary and Mont Black Nolan's history, which was really nice to see, and a lot more things made sense after that. But Luffy's itching to get back into this fight, so let's go into 191 through 200. The final 10 episodes of the second set of 100. The Luffy and Enel fight concludes with Luffy the victor, of course. Then he is able to ring the golden bell, and like after every big fight, the Straw Hats throw a party. And that's about it. We learn about the poneglyph before the Straw Hats leave, and the last few episodes start the filler arc at Naval Fortress. These 100 episodes were 10 times better than the first 100, mainly because the writing got so much better. I think partly because I'm already so attached to the story and the characters, but still, all the action in both of the huge arcs with Alabasta and Skypiea made this so good. If you want to see a recap of episodes 201 through 300, drop a like and comment below to let me know.